Welcome to Africulture with yours truly, Larva McAfee, aka Nicole, with my special guest, Togbi Ngoyifia of Aflawu, Gakli, Grand Lomé, where we discuss Africulture. It is all about Africulture. Let's get it started. Hello and salut everybody. Welcome to Africulture. Yeah, wezon. Ofonye dadanyo no vinyo donami witronami. Nya wezon kaka va Africulture mi gbali ji egbe ama ogba fon mi egbe asesere. Emi va kame kudo mi egbe. Dak pena mi be mi le kame. Dak pena Yehowa be mi lagbe egbe. Parce que mounya me si ame echi agbe egbe. Mounya me si ame fon egbe. Mounya mi fon. Donc, les dak pena Yehowa be mi le kame. Dak pena Yehowa be mi lagbe egbe. Donc, bonne arrivée na mi apotalo. Guys, I said, my family, I thank you for joining Africulture. Welcome to Africulture. I am grateful that you are here with us today. It is another Sunday. We are here to, have another discussion here today. So I was saying earlier that I'm grateful that we are breathing today because a lot of people did not get to see today. So I am genuinely honestly grateful for all of us today. So thank you for joining. We are back here this afternoon. Please share this with everyone that is not here. Make sure that we all join here so that we can have the conversation. If you're just joining, no matter what time you're joining, just make sure that you let us know where you're joining from. But I want to thank God for bringing us here today. I want to thank him for allowing us to be alive today, to have another day today. And I want to submit everything in his hands as so that he can control everything on this, on this show, on this call, everything that's going on. I want him to take complete control. So he is in control. So I thank you very much for doing just that. So today, I have Efo Kofi with me before. My special guest, Efo Kofi, you guys remember the last Sunday of September. And Efo Kofi came and we had technical issues. And we promised we are going to bring him back. So my special guest today is not Togbi Ngoyifia. You know the reason why we always say my special guest Togbi Ngoyifia, because he's supposed to be my everyday guest. That's why he was supposed to be my everyday guest. And then we have other guests come. But Togbi Ngoyifia, the reason why you always hear my special guest Togbi Ngoyifia is because he is the one who's supposed to be the regular guest for me. But right now, I'm having my special guest today is Efo KOSSI, NUTEKPOR, and he is here to discuss more about the Ceana project. Remember, we couldn't do it last time, so Efo KOSSI is back. He's going to discuss. We're going to have, I think it's very, very interesting because there's so much that we don't know about Ceana project. We just hear there's a project in Ghana. Sometimes there's a project in Togo, and we wonder why and how are these projects selected? Who decides where to go? Who decide which project is more important than the other project? And we ask people when we go to Ceana, even before we go to Ceana, we ask for donations. And we say that we are using it to help the airway land. But you might be wondering, okay, what exactly does that mean? What are you helping? What are you doing? So a lot of questions, a lot of unknown, a lot of misconception when it comes to Ceana project. And Efo Kofi is the best person to come here and educate us about Ceana project, because I had this question myself. How are those projects selected? And I'm like, why is it more in Ghana versus Togo? All of these questions, Efo KOSSI is going to answer these questions for us. And there are things that I didn't even know before. He's going to explain that to us. So Efo KOSSI is waiting in a green room right now. I'm going to bring him in so that we can get this started. So again, thank you very much. Please hang in there. Please let me know where you are joining from so that we can recognize you and give a shout out to you. So with that being said, I am bringing in Efo KOSSI right now. Efo KOSSI, I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you clearly. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Good. So, KOSSI, welcome back to Africulture today. I know it didn't work out last time. It didn't work out like we wanted to, but this time we promised to come back because this information, the Ceana project, are very, very important. And I wanted to make sure that we educate people and give them the information that they need so that it will clarify all those, wondering and all these questions and misconceptions that some people may have out there. So I thank you very much for being here. I know you are now permanently, well, I can't say permanently. You are now in Ghana. You can say it yourself. I'm not going to say it. You are in Ghana now.
Yeah.
And you are in Ghana now. You're retired now, happily retired. You're enjoying life right now in Ghana. So I'm going to let you, because a lot of people know you, a lot of people don't. So there may be some people who they don't know who you are. So I would like you to introduce yourself to people who don't know you, please.
All right, Nicole. So thank you so much. I'd like to first salute all your listeners and viewers of your program. I know how badly we wanted to have this interview, I believe, 4 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the connection issues did not allow it. So I am ecstatic to be on the program today with
Good.
better internet connection. So yeah, let me introduce myself. Yes, and you are right. I am happily retired and I moved back to Ghana
Mm-hmm.
after basically almost 40 years in the United States. So my name is KOSSI Amuzu NUTEKPOR.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was born, bred, and buttered in Ghana, in a small village in the Brahafo region called Hidiem. I moved to Salaga when I was a little older. Went to secondary school in Tamale, St. Charles Secondary School, and then I came to Kumasi for my sixth form at T.I. Ahmadiyya Secondary School.
Wow.
And then subsequently, I moved to Togo for a couple of years. Lived in Lomé, and that's when I got the opportunity to go to the US as a student. I did my 4 years in business administration at Shenandoah University, and then I went to uh, George Mason University for my master's degree. Uh, Throughout my stay, I worked as a manager, several companies, and I retired as a manager for Marshalls last June. So, for the purposes of this interview, let me introduce myself as Ceana's project coordinator. I am also, because I'm going to be explaining how we select Ceana projects, I would also like to introduce myself, my second hat. So I wear two hats within Ceana. The second one is the chairman for the new project selection committee.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the two hats I wear. And I think I'm hoping most of the questions would involve both of them. So
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it was
Correct.
appropriate for me to introduce myself that way.
That's good. That's good. So you say you were in Kumasi. So I don't know if you know this. I was born in Kumasi. Well, I was born in Kumasi. Well, it was Yeji. So Yeji, people know about Yeji, but we call it Sawaba. Sawaba is
Hmm.
where there's a village not far from Kumasi. So that's where I was born. That's where all my siblings,
Ah,
we were all born there. I still have my brothers there in Kumasi today. So every time I
I
hear Kumasi,
see.
it rings. So yeah.
And
So
and because you lived in Yeji, I know that area as well. When I
uh-huh.
was in Salaga,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I used to cross the Yeji River, the
Mm-hmm.
Volta River, and from Yeji to Makango constantly. And then, of course, I came to Kumasi. And anyway, I know that place pretty well.
That's good. That's good.
Yep.
And thank you very much for coming back. And I know this is very, very important to you. This job, this title that you hold, this responsibility is very dear to your heart. And I wanted to remind people, how long have you been project coordinator, Ceana project coordinator, and as well as your second hat, the committee, how long have you been, doing that?
Okay, so I originally joined Sienna in 2009.
Okay.
In 2010 and 11, I was with in Washington D.C. So I was part of the Washington Association.
Okay.
Um, I was the I was one of their core reps
Okay.
for a year, and then I
Okay.
actually became the Sienna's deputy executive director for another
Uh,
couple of years.
okay.
So in 2000, I believe in 2014 is
Mm-hmm.
when Sienna actively began to do projects.
Okay.
And that's when I started to be the project coordinator.
What?
In 2014, I moved from the US to Ghana. That was supposed to be my permanent move. And so that was it didn't quite
It
work
didn't
out
work out.
for several reasons.
Okay.
Yes. So the 2 years that I was in Ghana was
Mm-hmm.
when we started the first. We had done one project already, the Tanyigbe one, whilst I was in the US. The
Okay.
second one was the Keta Vui project.
Okay.
That one I was present, and then after that we went to Alokwegbe. So
Okay.
I believe since 2015,
Okay.
I have been doing this CNS projects, coordinating CNS projects.
That's good. And as the committee for
Mhm.
the new project, how long have you been doing that?
That one started in 2017. So the
Okay.
president, the then Sienna president was Dr. Nat Peter Abochi.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was looking for people who would do the work. I
Mm-hmm.
guess we volunteered ourselves
That's good.
and took on that assignment. So I was the chairman. Mr. William Kuma
Kuma. Mm-hmm.
became the vice chairman of that committee. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, we solicited projects in 2017. We got and approved 8 projects,
Okay.
3 from Togo and the other 5 were from Ghana.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6 and 2.
Six and two.
That was the ratio. Yes.
Okay.
So that was when we first did receive projects, vet them, evaluate them, and approve a certain number. And then we
Okay.
started implementing them. The
Okay.
implementation committee started doing
Okay.
their work. We
Okay.
have implemented all 8 projects that were approved in 2017. The last one, or the
Mm-hmm.
last 2, are the
Mm-hmm.
ones we are completing in 2024. We have already done one at Dodoma, Awiasu, and the very final one is the
Mm-hmm.
one we are going to do in Palime, Togo,
Balime.
which is
Mm-hmm.
a computer lab project for the high school called Koji High School.
Okay.
So that's, yeah. So to
Yeah.
answer to that question is, yeah, since 2017, and we
Uh-huh.
just now finishing the 8, and this year
Project. Right.
we because we were at the tail end of it, the president recommissioned us, or re powered us to
Activated
go
you.
back,
You activated you.
activated
Yeah.
exactly. And so we sent we redid the criteria for
Mm-hmm.
selecting new projects, and then
Okay.
we submitted it to core, and the core members submitted it to their various associations. So starting this past January, we
Mm-hmm.
gave each member of Sienna the opportunity to submit a project from their village, and we gave everyone 90 days
Okay.
within which to do that.
Okay.
I will have to, Nicole, I'll have to basically let your viewers know that that new project selection committee is a
Mm-hmm.
very high powered group of people. There were 8 of
Okay.
us.
Okay.
And I told you, I was the chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. William Kuma from Georgia, who was the former president of Georgia,
Of Georgia,
was
yeah.
yes, was our vice chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. David Abusa, who was the
Mm-hmm.
former president of the Houston Airway Association of the Airway Association of Houston,
Okay.
was our secretary.
Okay.
The former president of Ceana, who served for 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Nat Peter Abochi, was
Mm-hmm.
also a member.
Okay.
The other members were Dr. Doris Jamashi,
Okay.
who is or was the president, the first president. He was a president in Washington, moved to North Carolina, and started a new airway association called Lolonyo,
Oh yeah.
and was
Okay.
president, I believe, for one term. So that
Okay.
was Dr. Doris Jamashi. And the
Mm-hmm.
other another member is Miss Irene Allo, who
Okay.
was the former president of the
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Airway Association, the folks that are going to be hosting the next Siena convention.
Right. Right.
Irene Allo, former president, is a member of this committee.
Mm-hmm.
The other two are Mr. Didier Clou, who is the one of the executives of Global Pad for
Okay.
development.
Okay.
He belongs to the organization too. And the final member is
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Sylvanus Dosu, who was the vice president of the Chicago group, Chicago Association, Airway Association.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
as I told you, very high powered
Uh-huh.
intellectuals, honest men and women with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
We were the ones chosen by the president to form the new project selection committee,
Mm-hmm.
and I am proud of them. The work we have done in 2 separate sessions.
Wow. Okay. So we know Mr. William Kumar. He's in my association, and we association. Obviously, he was my president. Obviously. So I know that, and I know
Yep.
Irene. You know, we met, but we never really like in face to face. So some names that you are saying it, I can tell who they are. So what I couldn't tell because of the names, how many of them are Togolese, and how many of them are? Do you know which ones? I mean, is there someone from
I
Togo? Some
I
of them.
do.
Okay.
Yes. So basically three of us, 2 or 3 of us are from Togo. Um, so Didier Clou
Yeah,
is
the name.
from
Yeah,
Togo, Global
okay.
Pad, and
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Sylvanus Dosu is also
Okay.
from Togo.
Totally. Okay.
And because I am on both sides of the
On both sides.
border, I
Yeah.
would put myself,
On
yes,
Togo
I will be
side.
here, and then I'll be that Togo side, and then I'll be on the Ghana side as well.
Okay. Okay.
And the
Okay.
rest of
Okay.
the 6 or 5 were from Ghana.
From Ghana. Okay. All right. So just
Correct.
explaining this, you kind of, as like I said, I had a feeling that you're going to answer most of the questions with this, this committee already. And this committee, you were saying that the project that was submitted back in 2000, back in 2017, we just finished in the last one this year. And then we're going to have the last one,
Correct.
which is going to be in Balime. But that means that
Correct.
the new project that have been submitted, we haven't even touched them yet. So my question will be, so how is, and I know some of them, you empower them, you empower all of us to bring in projects, right? So we have to bring in project. How is that come about? So the project that we bring, what are the requirement? What tells you what deemed this worthy of Ceana? What is all entail in bringing in a project? These 17 project that you guys, well, not 17, but these project that you submitted in 2017 and we have been working on till we're about to finish now with the Palime one. what qualified them as projects, and how many did you guys receive and decided on those that you decided that those that won, that's what the word, those that won as a Ceana project. I want to understand the process, the whole process. How does it work?
Awesome. I love the question because this forms the crux of what Sienna is all about.
Mm-hmm.
A huge part of what Sienna is about.
Mm-hmm.
So the new projects committee,
Mm-hmm.
the new project selection committee,
Mm-hmm.
we before each of these processes, we send out a criteria.
Okay.
It's about a four page document,
Mm-hmm.
very self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, this question allows me to clarify a little bit of it. So the first the first thing that it's contained in there is the project has to be in Ewe land. All
Okay.
right, which
Okay.
means it has to be in the Ewe speaking part of Ghana,
Right.
Togo, mostly these two countries.
Okay.
And so I'll come back and re-clarify some other parts of what I just said. The
Okay.
second part is that it has to be within four categories. Oh, so what I mean by category is it has to be within education. The project has to be within an educational project. It has to be in the health industry. The third one, that it has to be with potable water. Has to have to do with potable water. And then the last one is it has to be in the socio-economic category. So those are the four categories that the project has to be, addressing. The third aspect of it is that the project in 2017, it had to cost $20,000 or less. That has since changed because of inflation and just basics. Things don't stay static.
Mm-hmm.
Prices go up. So it has changed. With the requirement this year was that it had to be $30,000 or less.
Okay.
Anything above it qualifies it puts it in a different category, a different scale. So
Okay.
we have a small scale projects and large scale projects. The small
Okay.
scale projects is what I'm talking about, funded by
Okay.
Sienna. So it has to be $30,000 or less. The
Okay.
fourth criteria is that the project has to be community owned. In other words, you can't bring a private school project and expect Sienna to execute it. It has to
Mm-hmm.
be community owned. It has to be public.
Yes.
And so that's the fourth criteria. The fifth
Okay.
criteria is that the budget has to be realistic. It has
Okay.
to be so you can't ask us to build you a two-story classroom block and tell us that it will cost 30,000 or less. It
Okay.
has to be reasonable. Uh-huh. So that's enough of us are within that committee. We are also in the project implementation committee, so we have a good idea what a
Mm-hmm.
$30,000 project looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The sixth aspect is that it has to have a detailed description. So
Okay.
you have to be able to tell us what the project is going, the population, for example, the
Mm-hmm.
area it comes from, the population of the area the project is going to serve.
Okay.
Um, you have to be able to give us the detailed cost. You have to
Okay.
give us the detailed description. You have to be able to tell us, that the community is going to be community owned, of course.
Right.
And the final thing is, you have to be able to provide evidence to Sienna that the community that the project is going to serve are
Mm-hmm.
going to be willing to take part in
Yeah.
that project. So they also have some responsibilities. So the community has to be in effect willing to sign what we call an MOU, a memorandum of understanding between the community and
Mm-hmm.
Ceana,
Okay.
so that when the project is approved, they help. And part of that service from the community involves them providing it with the sand, with the gravel, with the water, with a place for our workers to stay, and with community unskilled labor. So those are the 7 or 8 requirements
Mm-hmm.
that a project must respond to in order for it to qualify for Sienna to undertake. And within the, like I told you, we have in the first time around, we received only about 12 or 13 projects, and we
Okay.
selected 8 of them.
Okay.
This time around, this year, 2024,
Mm-hmm.
we solicited projects and we received 31 of them. One of them was duplicate, so I'll say 30
30.
projects
Okay.
from 30 different villages and communities within Ewe land, in Ghana, and in Togo. And
Wow.
Nicole, I think I also
Mm-hmm.
need to explain that between Ghana and Togo,
Mm-hmm.
there is a ratio of projects being chosen and implemented.
Yes.
And the ratio is 3 to 1. So for every 3 projects we undertake in Ghana, we
Mm-hmm.
undertake 1 in Togo.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Uh, in in the beginning, we did a little more than 3 to 1. We did
Okay.
as you would see if we when we start talking about the projects we have already accomplished. We
Mm-hmm.
did a lot more than that ratio. But from 2017, the committee, on the advice of CORE, the Council of
Mm-hmm.
Representatives, we moved
Mm-hmm.
to a 3 to 1 ratio, and that is specifically because of the populations of Siena.
Mm-hmm.
So the population of Siena is higher majority from Ghana than in
Yeah.
Togo. And
Yeah.
so, yes, so as the population of Togolese increase, the ratio
The ratio will
could
increase.
change,
Yeah, will change.
uh,
So
would
yeah.
increase. And
Okay.
by the same
Mm-hmm.
token, if we get more folks from Benin,
Then mm-hmm.
we will then step into doing projects in Benin
Project.
as well.
Well, okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that's what
So
that
I'm
will
not
be.
sure if Mhm. Go ahead.
That was gonna be my other question to you because earlier you say that the Ewe lands in Togo and Ghana. I was like, what happened to Benin? And this answer that I had the answer, but in case somebody's wondering, why do we did not mention Benin, and it's because the ratio. And when a focus is saying population, Siana population, we are talking about Siana members. Siana members, the people who are members in the Ewe Association, people who are in the Siana members, and those who are in individual members. The membership, the ratio of the membership, that means that we have more Ghanaian than we have more Togolese, and even more Ghanaian than we have Beninois. So if we don't have enough who are participating, I mean, it is not going to happen. So you guys, Beninois who are listening to me, or you have friends who are from Benin, please encourage them, because I know you guys have projects as well in your side. Encourage them to join. It's just because the ratio is so low when it comes to Benin. That's why. It's not that we are dismissing them. It's just the ratio is low. So you, if I can see you answer the ratio again, because I was going to ask why 3 versus versus 1. You answered that as well. So that is it, because of the ratio. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough Togolese to compare. It's not apple to apple. It's not 50-50. If it was 50-50, then the project will be divided into, 50-50. It will be 2 and 2, or 1 and 1, or 3 and 3, but it's
Mhm.
not the case. So that explains that as well. And
Correct.
all of these, sometimes you wouldn't even sometimes I wonder, right? And I know a lot of us wonder, how are these projects selected? And I can see you telling me it has to be part of Airway Land, it has to be within education, health, water, and these categories. And then there's a minimum. It can be more than 30. It was 20,000. Again, a lot has changed. Now it can be more than 30,000, 30,000 or less. And it has to be community owned, which makes sense. You cannot just come, you are private, you want to have, maybe a casino, and you're like, okay, Ceana can pay for your casino. It doesn't work so, right? Because we are here, we are asking people to donate money for our airway land, to help our airway lands. So it doesn't make sense for us to do project for private own project. It just doesn't make sense. It's to help the needy, to help those who cannot help themselves, is to help our community. So that answered that as well, that question we were wondering. So if you're thinking of having a boutique and you think Ceana can help you, that is out of the question. You can it's just funny, but
Not
I'm just
gonna
letting
happen.
you know, Ceana is not going to do that for you. So it needs to be something that is
Mhm.
helping our airway land. It needs to be something that is helping the community. So that's that. And then you also say the budget needs to be reasonable. You cannot have a huge one. That's why there's a limit to the 30,000 or less as well. And the detailed description, I'm assuming you have to make sure that that's why you are there. You guys are there in this committee, so that you can help those people who are bringing the project, so that they know how to write it. They know how to put, the details, why you want this, what is the issue right now, and what will the community get from it. So I know you have to have all these analysis. You have to know
Mhm.
that at the end of the day, this is what the people, the community, not just the one village, but maybe the neighborhood, the neighbor village, maybe the nearby villages, they will benefit from it. So it makes sense that we have to do a project. We can't just choose because you like the village, or you like the community. All of this has to come in
Mhm.
place. So I thank you for explaining all of this for us. And the one thing you said, that in 2017 or 15 there were 12, right? So you said there were 12.
Correct.
This you say
Mhm.
right now we have 30 projects. So I'm like, okay, that's a lot of projects. That's a lot of
Yes.
projects.
Al-
So go ahead.
mhm. I was going to say I have to explain that 30 projects is what we received.
You receive, yeah, yeah.
In the end, yes, in
Mm-hmm.
the end, we vetted it and
Mm-hmm.
we approved 12 of them.
12 out of 30.
Out of 12 out of 30. That
Okay.
was that was known up front.
Okay.
It was already announced, pre-announced that we will be picking 12 projects.
Okay.
9 of them would come from Ghana, and
Okay.
3 of them will come from Togo.
Okay.
And so, once the projects came, we it and Nicole, I think I need to emphasize to your viewers that it took 3 months for the projects to be submitted, 90 days, but it took 6 months for the committee of 8 that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Took us 6 months for us to go through and evaluate all these 30 projects. And we met almost every week, or sometimes we'll skip a week and do bi-weekly,
Mm-hmm.
non-stop, because for every single project we took,
Mm-hmm.
every one of the members would have to read the whole thing, determine that it has met each of these
The requirement. Okay.
requirements,
Mm-hmm.
and award marks, award numbers to each of the criteria. And
Okay.
then at the end, we added them all up and took an average, and that's what each project scored. And so at the end, we picked the top 9 from Ghana and the top 3 from Togo.
Okay.
Uh, one of one of the other things we did, and I think it's also worth mentioning, is
Mm-hmm.
that for ethics, for ethical reasons,
Mm-hmm.
uh, when we when we came across a project that
Mm-hmm.
was in or near your village,
Mm-hmm.
one of the committee members you had to recuse yourself.
That makes sense.
So
That
if
makes
there was a
yeah.
project, yes, that was a project from Angloga,
Mm-hmm.
for example, two of our committee members were from Angloga, and they had to recuse themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so only the six remaining vetted that project and then scored it and averaged the score.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really took our job very, very seriously
I
and
see that.
made sure we, yes, because, and the other reason you may ask, why did we only approve 12 out of
Mm-hmm.
the 30? And
Mm-hmm.
the simple answer is that when we go to Ceana conventions, we
Mm-hmm.
ask people to give, like you were mentioning earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We raise funds. I'm usually one of those sometimes raising funds. Mr. Kuma,
Mm-hmm.
hallelujah,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
screaming and trying to get everybody to raise
And
money.
always loses his voice at the
Um,
end of the day.
he's always losing his voice.
Yes.
The poor guy.
I
Uh,
know.
so we want to make sure that this exercise, the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for each person who
Mm-hmm.
belongs to Siena in
Mm-hmm.
good standing is
Mm-hmm.
able to get the opportunity, submit a project for his or her village or
Right.
nearby village.
Right.
So if we if we pick 12 or if we pick too many, then it
Mm-hmm.
will take a very long time to
To
implement
complete.
them before
Yeah.
we ask people to do it again.
Right.
But
Right.
if we pick 12 and we,
Mm-hmm.
and we are able to now, fortunately for us, we have gone to conventions and come back with over $150,000. So,
Yeah.
divide that by 30, we can
Right.
do multiple projects a year.
Yeah.
And the fact that I am now retired and
You are home
going to
now.
be coordinating these projects from home,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I assure Siena members that we probably shoot for implementing 2 or 3 projects, hopefully even 4 a year, so that we can complete the 12,
Mm-hmm.
and within a very short period, we can come back to Siena and say, can you submit some new projects for
Right.
consideration? So
Right.
that's the reason we picked 12. And I think we just completed the exercise. We just notified the folks who did not
Which one?
qualify,
Okay.
and we are, and most of and almost all those that qualified, that got picked, the 12 projects also have been notified.
Okay.
So that's where
That's
we
good.
are at the moment.
Okay, so I like the fact that you're accusing those people who, if the projects in their village, they are accusing themselves from the, the selection and the process. I like that you do that because it makes very much sense because it's going to be a conflict of interest. Because you might, if they
Interest.
do that, it is going to be a conflict of interest. So I like the fact that you do that. And I do agree. I was going to
Correct.
ask you, it's like you've been answering my questions already. So you've been answering the questions as you go. And that was another question that you answered was, is it the 14? I mean, the 12 that you selected. I was going to say, is it because of the money that we have? It's because of the budget that we set. And you explained that we have more money, we may have more money, but because if you took so long, if you select 20, for example, it's going to be forever for that to be finished. And we thank God that now you are back home, you can focus more. And it's not like you're just on vacation, you retire. So you're going to be able to
Mm-mm.
focus more and then put pressure on these people to get the work done really quickly. So that means that hopefully by next year, we probably can do more than we have been doing. So that's good. So I'm gonna take a deep breath. We're gonna take a quick break. Let's take a break. You have said a lot. You have been educated us with a lot of information. I hope that those your committee members are joining and they're gonna watch this and they're gonna ask questions and put in anything else they have. They can share it with us. So if you didn't share it with them, I hope you share it with them for them to also join because they can be interactive and add whatever they have to add as well. So I hope that they are going to be joining. But if KOSSI, thank you so very much for doing this. Guys, I thank you very much for joining us. We're just going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We'll take a quick break and just to get, remind us, we're talking about Ceana project, just to remind us of what is going on with Ceana, what is going to happen. We just finished, Denver, but we still have Dallas coming up. So we're going to take a quick break, but please don't go anywhere. Join us. If you are online, please say hello. Put it in your comment where you are joining from, your name, so that we know who is online. So stay interactive. If you have any question for KOSSI, he's here to answer. Whatever, if you have concerns or you had misunderstanding or whatever it is, let us know. But we thank you very much for joining us. Miato, akpena mi KOSSI donc KOSSI le do enia English lo. Ha, mtona we mi akpla English. Et faut qu'on s'y les deux English. J'espère que mi se nyako kota be blanc parce que nglo ma introduce now explain it for you guys. But ele blanc projet on a mi ele blanc projet le Ghana ku Togo. Mi le blanc projet comme on a le Ghana ku pro. Demi trova ma so projet o so fiomi. Voilà, il faut qu'on s'y le blanc na le Ceana be populaire. I mean, ame kokota le membre ko le Ceana mea. Bobo to so Ghana. Togo be nombre am soubon. Donc, parce que Ghana be nombre eto Togo to antia, surtout Bénin. Bénin a les gommés. Gémé, le milieu 1, 2, 3. Bénin ni troisième. Donc, parce que min doit me soubon, Togo tom soubon, a Ghana to soubon, ou Togo a entier projet. Mi wana projet, on a so kwero amo, le kope me coup de toi, to school, à tout, et konji coup de toi, et mi wana. Ma so projet, on so do rane mi trova. Voilà, les raisons qui ont mis là au cas le Togo, là où mettons les Ghana, c'est parce que Togo tombe sous bon les Ceana. Raison laquelle min pas au dépepe les Bénin, c'est parce que Bénin be population les Ceana homme sous bon. Donc nous que il faut qu'on s'y l'explique namien et puis les to nami benane on l'a choisi projet a. On non a y a document. On a nyo bunata mais so y a projet anti et nous sous bon on a projet anti et on la so globe na projet a si on avait projet et puis nous là projet c'est moins de $30,000 et puis projet a dollar ni oui et bébé dume et là ni les Ghana mais là ni les Togo et là ni Bénin puis on maintient au dehors na privé si te quoi be les ja boutique quoi wa onia wa Ceana bave boutique now ela nye nou ke le jakpero a monti de vio et famille ou communauté ou potanti le copia me et puis même to chan copé ko la pero ko le à côté na mia donc nous ke vidikui ke ma expliquer na mi ke faut qu'on si ke le glan wa ndak pe na mi be mi le kame de kuku na mi ne mi le kame a me de le kame wa mi invité ou wa chama va no kame ne mi le kame a mi na manya mi o commentaire ne manya me ke mi ni le kame a me ke le kame a ne mi do question de a mi su do il faut qu'on si la doenti na mi ne question nye a ma doenti na mi Vwambe mi no kame mi ngba afile koko mi ana il faut qu'on si break ne ba bonji de vile parce que na mi information tout bon ne mi a trova mi agba va yeji ne mi trova ma so projet ko mi le avant et après be projet so fiomi. When we come back guys, I'm going to share the before and after pictures with you guys, and if KOSSI will have to explain to us these projects and what, how, and all of that. So stay safe right there. Do not go anywhere. Stay with me. We're just going to, I'm just going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. So let me see what I can do right now. I'm trying to make sure that, I don't play anything that is too long for you. So let's do this.
Goodness.
Okay, thank you guys very much. That is Ceana Dallas 2025. You guys, everybody needs to be ready, and all of you guys, the supporters, Ceana attendees. We are still in 2024, but we are planning already ready for 2025. So start thinking about it. Those of you who have not been, start thinking about it. Those of you who were there this year, you already promised you're gonna be back. So start thinking about it. And as we're discussing these projects as well. So welcome back to now this second part. We are going to share more about the project. We are going to hear more about these projects that have already been completed. And KOSSI is going to share with us, the goodies about these, and what makes it special. So I'm gonna, hopefully this will work. I'll share it with you guys as I bring him back. But stay tuned. Please remember again to share and just stay on. Let us know where you are joining from. Bientôt, akpenami be mi trova e kame kudomi. Merci beaucoup. Le globena enu a Ceana 2025 et a mole ready les Dallas vo. Donc a mi ame komu ipo a mi no préparé be mi ava année prochaine 2025. Mi ame ko yane a mi wo mi promet déjà vove mi la trova 2025. Donc mi no Ceana beta me boumlo. Et puis que mi les discuter projet a, j'espère bena la encourager mi la joindre. Surtout Togoto, surtout Beneto, mi la joindre et puis mi a contribué mi a pelo projet anti que mi les ja share mi la sofio mi kodo e focusia. Donc merci beaucoup. Pe mi le kame kudo mi fifi am le ja so ma plo e focusiva et puis mi la partager ma so et mi a projet yo sofio mi mi a povele que mi la wedoma. So e focusi. Welcome back. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we talked about the project, how the project is selected. We talked about normally how long it takes and what entails, the requirements. We discussed all of that. The reason for the ratio, we explained that as well. So it's a lot of information that you just shared with us. And I wanted us now to go into the projects. I'm going to share the Ceana website, and I will encourage everybody to go in there to view this project. And as we go through them, because I know that not every, you have children. Sometimes there's one of them that is just special to you. You know what I mean? Like we always say that we love our children the same way, but then back in our head, we're like, there's always one that we love most. There is you go to a restaurant, it might be the same food, but there's one that you might say that you love most. So I think we may, I want to share this project with you. I know some of them are dear to your heart, and some of them touch you more than the others. So as I go through them, I want you to point that out and tell us about them. So I'm going to try and do this. Hopefully this is going to work as I planned. I'm gonna share this screen. Give me a second, and I'm gonna play this. This is it. Okay. Okay, it is working. So, if KOSSI, can you see it? Can you see the Ceana?
I can.
Right.
Yes, I
Okay.
sure can.
Okay. So, guys, this is the Ceana the key project, Ceana project as of 2023. As of not 2023, but as of 2023. So as you can see here, those of you who do not know, Ceana was established in 1993. That's a long time ago. Ceana goal was to promote social economy development in our communities area. Again, if we can see, just like what you said, is health, education, social culture, and high school scholarship. It's added here. So you can see all
Mhm.
these areas here. We have this as a map here, but we're not discussing that. We want to go through the project. So, Focus, do you remember this one? The Tanyigbe?
I remember. Yes, I do. So
Okay.
that was the very first project that we undertook that I was a part of it.
Okay.
Before that, they had done one in Soviet a long time ago.
Okay.
Tanyigbe was the first one. It was, I was part of the committee then.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Akume was the chairman of the project committee at that time,
Okay.
and we undertook that project. It At the beginning, we thought we were going to renovate the current school building,
Oh, okay.
but then certain things happened, and a new one got started. So
Okay.
Sienna took it over, and
Mm-hmm.
we did it for roughly 20,000. A little, no, I'm sorry.
No, not.
It was done for about a little over 30,000.
uh,
It was done for just slightly above 30,000.
30,000. Okay. So we
Oh,
can see the
yes,
after
that was
the after and before. Definitely you can see the huge change over here and
yes,
obviously the building here. Okay, next one.
yes.
It is alo kwegbe because
Hello,
I was saying pay
hello,
alo kwegbe,
Kwegbe.
alo
Yes.
kwegbe. See the
Yeah.
accent, the alo kwegbe clinic. So what can you tell us about this one? I think this one might be one of the one that is hard to you, dear to your heart. Is it?
It is.
Okay.
It just absolutely is the one dearest to my heart. The one
Mm-hmm.
that's probably going to give this one, some challenge is the one we just completed in Dodoma Ariasu, which we will see. Hopefully, we'll see that.
Okay.
But this particular one,
Mm-hmm.
this project at that time was the president had actually asked me to go and we wanted to attract more Togolese,
Mm-hmm.
and we felt like if we did a couple of projects in Togo,
Mm-hmm.
it would, help Togolese realize that Siena is not a Ghanaian association; it's a Ewe association. Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
Togo, Benin, and of course, hopefully one day we'll add Nigeria. So when we picked this project, it was it's this particular project. It served the village of Alokwegbe, which is very close to Chevier. Most people
Okay.
know where Chevier is,
Mm-hmm.
a few miles from Lomé. Um, and this was exactly about 10 miles from Chevier. It's it was a clinic that served the village of Alokwegbe and 22 other surrounding villages
Okay.
for a very sizable population.
Okay.
And the reason this project touched my heart was this project served just so many people.
Right.
Um, it had the leading the major who was
Mm-hmm.
in charge of the clinic. It
Mm-hmm.
had a midwife who helped deliver babies, and then
Mm-hmm.
it had a pharmacist. So those were the three staff we met there.
Okay.
I was particularly attracted to the maternity.
Okay.
Nicole, it will break your heart if you saw the maternity. It was
Mm.
the tiniest room you have ever seen, with
Mm.
a table made of cement blocks and
Oh,
tiles on top of it,
wow.
in the tightest, tight, very tight room. And you know, the lady explained to me that this is where they deliver.
Ooh.
And I mean, as small as it was, my mind went, so I asked the inevitable question of what happens if more than one person comes to give
Right,
birth.
right, right.
um, and the lady just took a deep breath and said, uh, when when that happens, and he said that has happened before quite a number of times.
Mm.
She says the first thing she does is go on her knees and pray that
Ooh.
one of them will be able to
Can
wait
hold.
for the other.
Ah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Nicole, I
yeah,
almost cried.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And
See that.
yes, so um the goal, my thinking then was that we need to do something about, if forget the whole clinic, we need to
Yeah.
do something about this maternity ward. And
Yes.
so there was a building that served as a storage.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that it was very well built, very strong little house, three
Okay.
bedrooms,
Okay.
um, built by the Germans many years
Many
ago.
years ago.
And
Okay.
so many years ago, I'm sure. So what Sienna did is we took that building and added, extended it, uh, added it to that
Yeah.
building, and
I
turned
see.
that into a maternity room. So
Wow.
um, those we had, so two of the rooms could be used for birth,
Okay.
and then the third one, right after they give birth, they can stay there for a day or
Right.
two
Right.
before
Right.
being
Right.
sent home. And Nicole, unfortunately, we don't have the picture of that.
Yeah.
I tried to get it, I couldn't get it. It's in my former, but we I went out and bought the prettiest pink tiles, and that was what we used to put on the floor and on the wall of the maternity rooms. I'm
Yeah.
telling you it. And then an organization
Mm-hmm.
donated two beds, two
Uh,
beds that they
that's nice.
actually used to give birth. So
Uh,
that project, and the other thing we did was expand one of the rooms, knock down the one that we're using for maternity, and
mm-hmm.
included it into a place where people could stay overnight. We
Okay.
divided into
Okay.
two,
Okay.
one
Okay.
for the females, the other for male.
That's
And
okay.
then we, of course, we completely renovated the place. We built them showers for the women or for people who
Mm-hmm.
came to stay there. We built
Right.
them a brand new shower, where
Mm-hmm.
they could actually bath in dignity, and then
Yeah.
come in here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as you can see, we completely painted it,
Yeah.
um, and
Yeah.
left it in a very beautiful um, place for them.
That's good. That just warms my heart too. I can see
Yes.
how, because some of the villages I remember, if somebody gets sick, you have to travel miles and miles and miles and miles. You're gonna go to a different village far before you can actually get to a clinic. So I remember that. I remember in Dapango, and I was going to we had to go to this clinic. I think that it was, and we have to travel. You literally have to walk miles and miles and miles to go to a different, in order for you to get to a hospital. So you saying, when you are saying that this benefited other villages surrounding, I know exactly what you're talking about, because not every village has a hospital. Not every village,
No.
have the opportunity to get this. So I am glad that it wasn't just for that, one village. It actually benefited, which is the one we were talking earlier. Remember when you were saying that the community has to be community, and then it has to be not just benefiting for that one, community or village, but surrounding as well. So that's good.
Correct.
So this is definitely it. So now we are talking about, so this was Togo, that was with Togo. And then this is Amuzu Kope. It also, this is with Health Center as well. This one here. Do you remember this one?
I do remember that one as well. So this was done right after the Alokwegbe one that I just
Okay,
talked
this one here.
about. It
Okay.
also was, yes, the one from Amuzu Copper. So Amuzu Copper is about halfway between Lomé and Palime.
Parliament.
And the building you see on the left, the before picture, it
Mm-hmm.
was, again, it was another building that was put up by the Germans many, many years ago. And I tell you, you can tell the difference between buildings that were built by those folks
Then
and
our
what
buildings.
we
Yeah,
built
I
after
noticed that
them.
all the time. Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So it was overtaken by bats when we got there. They were no
Uh,
longer using it. And so we took the roof off and completely re-roofed it and then put tiles in all the rooms. They
okay.
did not have a toilet, a properly functioning WC toilet, and so
Mm-hmm.
we put one in there for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have a water tank on the back of the building. We renovated that as well, and
Okay.
then the building to the on the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it, wa- it was a structure, an uncompleted structure that they
Okay.
had. And so we took it and completely renovated it,
Right.
put brand new tiles on the floor, and put
Mm-hmm.
seats around. So that became the immunization center for that
Ah. Okay.
community.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, so that's when they had immunization and
That's where.
French people
Nice.
say sensibilisation. They
Yeah.
had awareness programs. That's
That's
that
where.
they undertook that in that building.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Okay.
you can see, yes, you can also see the structure, the
Mm-hmm.
weird structure they had there that we had to
Right.
take over and
Right.
completely renovated. And Nicole, the other thing Sienna members should be proud of was that both the Alokwegbe project and the
Mhm.
Amuzu Copper project only cost Sienna about $12,000 each. So not
Mm.
20,000.
Oh,
Yes. So
12,000 each.
it
Okay.
each to complete. So all that thing, all that renovation and
Yeah.
beauty you see there only cost Sienna
Oh,
12,000. That
12,000.
was when Sienna we did not come back from the conventions with a whole lot of money,
A
and so
whole
we
lot
had
of,
to
yeah.
make do
Right.
with the help of the community.
Right. Right. And I know that, but by having this building here also helped. By having that, you didn't have to do the whole thing all over or starting from the ground
Yes,
also helped. Okay. All right. So that's the one
indeed.
Amuzu Kope. And I okay. So now we're gonna talk about this one in Kita. This one is Kita,
Yes.
the Zion Elementary School.
Ketavui.
Kita Vui, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what do you want to
So
know about
Vui,
this one?
another one that touched my heart.
Yes.
Keta, uh, Vui is basically a suburb of Keta.
Mm-hmm.
As you come in from Angloga, is close to the first suburb that you meet. And
Mm-hmm.
this AME Zion, why it touched my heart was the sheer amount of students
Yeah.
in on the ground.
Right.
Um, they were every classroom, including the kindergarten,
Mm-hmm.
uh, had about 200 students to a classroom.
Mm.
So basically, the classrooms were bursting with
Mm.
humans begging for new and extra space.
Right.
We went there. Uh, we originally thought we were going to build them 3 classrooms, and when we costed it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I will tell you a little bit, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about the workers who do
Mm-hmm.
undertake our projects
Mm-hmm.
because they deserve a lot of commendation.
Okay.
Um, they gave us an estimate of 14,000 to build 3 classrooms for them. So
Okay.
a couple of some of the core members, and I
Mm-hmm.
specifically remember Efokofi from
Mm-hmm.
Canada saying to us, why, if we can build 3 with 14,000, why don't we just go ahead and build them 6
Mm.
classrooms? and it was unanimously approved.
Approved.
And
Okay.
so for about 28,000 to 30,000, we built them 6 classroom blocks,
I am reading.
which
Yeah,
took a
I am.
lot of the pressure.
Yes, I'm counting the classroom. I can count the classroom in the building. It's the doors. I'm like, that's 6. Okay,
Yes,
I'm making sure. I'm making sure when you say,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
There's 6. And not only that, we had a little money left, and we built them a little teachers lounge,
Oh,
a
okay.
semicircle, some summer hut style teachers
Uh-huh.
lounge next to it. So by the time we were done,
Mm-hmm.
that particular AME Zion school depopulated and was pretty comfortable per classroom. The teachers were very happy. One of the people I would like to mention that made it possible for this school was Togbi
Mm-hmm.
Yado, who
Okay.
used to live in New York City.
Okay.
He has still he has since retired and returned to Keta, but
Oh,
he
okay.
was very instrumental in helping me. At that time, I was part of the 2 years I was had moved back home, and so I was able to do it with his help. When I would
Uh,
go there, he would give me accommodation, etc.
uh,
Um, bring food to the workers, and all of that. So
so we want to
he
thank
needs to be
Togbi.
commended for that.
Yes, we need to thank Togbi. If you're online and you're watching, Togbi, please let them know. Pass on the information that if KOSSI say thank you, we thank him for what he has done. Now, this one, the Dau one, elementary school classroom block and office. Um, this one
Yes.
also is dear to our heart. So can you a little bit about this one?
Okay. So Davu is the tiniest village you've never heard of in the southwestern part of Togo.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far from Afanya or even Aneho, a little bit to the north
I don't know if
east of
I ever
Aneho.
seen. I know
Uh,
Afanya. I remember, but not Davu. I haven't heard of Davu. So okay, therefore,
yes,
on it.
yes, and the other village close to it is Chekpo, by the way. So this
Okay.
is the tiniest village, and as you can see from the before pictures,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't. You really can't call that a school building.
No, no.
So when that project was brought to our attention, submitted for implementation,
Mm-hmm.
it was. I'm telling you, even the road from the nearest town to that place was
Mm-hmm.
a pretty treacherous road. And so Ceana set off to work. And at that time, the total amount we could use was 20,000.
Mm.
The beautiful part of that was we were able to complete a 3 classroom and a teacher's office
Mm-hmm.
for $18,000.
Yeah.
And we had $2,000 left. And instead of returning it to Sienna coffers, we decided to get the children furniture,
I am going to share that furniture
tables,
with
bench.
everybody. I think I want to share that furniture with everybody. Um, Let me find it, and I'm gonna share that with. So this is
Sure.
the. Let me go back here. So this is it. This is the one. If you guys can see my screen, so this is the one I
Yes.
think that you use that 20,000. You use every penny of it, every penny
We
of
used
it.
every.
And before that, actually, let me show you more. Let me show you more. This is the pictures. I see more pictures here, and this is the building, and you can see the building here. We see the classrooms here. Here, the one that you saw earlier, that's a focus see right there. You always there with info, uh, Willie. You always there. We see the
Yes.
Tuckney here as well. So always leave this behind
Correct.
as Ceana. So I wanted to show you guys. So the building, like if Focusi was saying, it was 20,000 was the budget, and 18,000 for the building and the classroom, and then the leftover 20,000 was for the benches for the children.
Two,
So I just like the fact,
2000.
you guys, yeah, I like the fact that you didn't take the 2,000 back. 2,000, yeah, you didn't take the
Yes.
2,000 back to Ceana. You use it to get the benches because most of the time we build a building, but they still have to sit. So they need the benches. And sometimes there are teachers, you don't have enough teachers. So I like the fact that you guys use the rest of the money because it is definitely needed, and they needed it that. So that was a good way to go on that one. So advocacy, and I also want to share this one before we get to 2024 project that I wanted to share. I wanted us to look at the bridge. Last time I shared the bridge, I don't know if it really everybody's seen this.
Correct.
So this one here, this goes to with this one, but this is sometimes you do provide some clinical, clinic equipment as well,
Medical.
medical
Yes.
equipment as well. So this is one of some of
Equipment.
them here. Yes. Some of the equipment here. So I can see this, not, this is not what I wanted you to see, but I do want you, and sometimes we provide relief, and I can see here we're providing
Mhm.
relief, and space and, shovels and stuff in the disaster areas. We also do that as well. Um, so I wanted, this is the one that I was saying last time that I took this videos and going around just people to just to watch this. And I was saying how we have our children, we have yellow bus for our children to go to school, and we have children swimming. When I watch this, and focus, it's just when you see it, it's unbelievable. You think that is made up,
Mhm.
but this is what people
Mhm.
are going through. These children, they are swimming. Look at the head, at the neck. They are swimming
Yeah.
to go to school,
Yes.
and they swim. They get to the other side. This is this thing. They have their clothes in there, so they go to the other side. They're gonna dry out. Sometimes they don't even have a towel to dry, and they put on their clothes in a wet body, and then they're gonna walk. And there's no
Mhm.
way to. Sometimes they are like a monkeys on the street, on trees, just to make a way to school. So I see this, and I just feel like this. Sometimes when we have our children messing up at home, I think it's sometimes we need to be showing them these things. Like this is what some children back home, they are struggling this way just to go to school. And for coffee, when they get to school, by the time they get there halfway, it's like school is almost finished, and they can only get a little bit, few hours, and then they come back. They have to swim again and come back home. When I see this, it is just crazy. And seeing this, I remember when this was showing, and our association, we have to, come up with money. Everybody has to give something, and to see from
Yeah.
here to here. Now they have a bridge they can walk on and travel and cross to go to school. So these are things that you
Yes.
see this, it just makes sense, you know it just makes sense. So I just say my spiel. What
Yes.
do you have to say? Sorry, I was saying my spiel. What do you have
I-
to say? What do you remember?
It's I talked about the other two that touched my heart. This
Yeah,
was the mother of all projects.
yeah, this
This
one.
was it. I mean,
Mm,
I was there with the President Chachu and Mr. William and Dr. Former President and Togbe, and we, to inaugurate it or to open it,
yeah,
and it was pretty special. I
yeah,
mean, you are right. When the story first came, it sounded almost made up
yeah,
until you realize that it was real. When we
yeah.
went there for the inauguration, we had to park our cars, far away to walk
Mm-hmm,
from the village to
mm-hmm,
even to the bridge.
mm-hmm,
So it wasn't as if the river was next to the villages. They had to
mm-mm.
walk about almost a mile to the bridge,
Right.
cross it, and then
Mm-hmm.
continue into to get to school.
Get to school.
Talk about being passionate about
Passionate
school.
about school. I am telling you.
Yes, yes,
Oh
it
God.
was unbelievable. So Sienna took it up. This was not a traditional
No, it wasn't. Mm-mm.
project,
Yeah.
and it took a number of years. It started when Dr. Bochi was the president, and it got completed when Dr. Nyamadi,
Mm-hmm.
Chachu Nyamadi, became president. And kudos to both of them for not giving up. Obviously, Mr. William Kuma
Mm-hmm.
was is, by the way, he was and is still the Ciena's project implementation chairman.
Mm.
So all the projects that I've described, I coordinate. He is the
Mm.
chairman.
Yeah.
This was passionate, something he put so much into,
I know.
and Ceana needs to, to credit him for, a majority of how
Yeah.
and why it happened.
Yeah.
Of course, we subsequently used it to raise some money, but
Mm-hmm.
we spent quite a bit on this
Yeah.
project. It was
Yeah.
not a $30,000 or
No.
$40,000
No.
project, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
this this is the kind of stuff governments undertake. These are the kind of projects
Supposed to,
governments
yeah.
are.
This is something they're supposed to be taking
Yes,
care of. Yeah,
not
I know. Yeah.
yes, not
Yeah.
organizations
No,
such as Ceana.
no,
So
no.
kudos to every person
Mm-hmm.
in Ceana who had a role. If your penny
Oh,
was in this project, God
yep,
bless you. It's all
yep.
I will say.
Yep, yep. And for Kumar, I don't know if you're listening, you're watching, somebody watching, tell him we said hello. We said we're giving him kudos as well. So yeah, I
Yes,
see this. I'm like, it's just it's crazy. It is crazy. And these are the things that, I want people to watch, people to see, because it is important. And so that people know that when you are donating your money, it's actually making a difference. And I wish that we
it
had
is.
more here watching this, and I wish that we're going to share this for people to actually see where the money is coming from, because this project is very, very important, for us to know, and then to know that we are making a difference. I know we can't do it for every village, but those that we are doing, it is definitely a huge, difference. So I pray that those of you who are watching, you are on the call, I can see, please make sure that you share this with everyone that you know, especially those of you who like Ceana, those of you who are part of the Ceana, those of you who hear about it and wonder. You never know who else is watching and who else is wondering. So just share. We just want you to share so that we can see, the difference that we are making, and many, many more to come, God willing. So these are high school, scholarship in Togo, of course, high school in Benin. And I wanted a full KOSSI. We are going to share the project in 2024. So I know we have some project completed and we have some underway. The one completed, I know we have not, inaugurated that yet. So I wanted to share, this is the project that was completed, this 2024 newest project, in Dodome, Awuzu. This is in Ghana kindergarten. And I want you to tell us a little bit about that. It is going to be inaugurated, in March or April 2025. So this is the newest one. And we saw this yesterday. This was the before picture. So you guys,
Yes.
what do you have to say, for this one?
This is another project that's, there are many. I told Nicole, I believe yesterday, that I haven't. There are very few projects that I have gone to. It's the inauguration that I have not shed a tear.
It's
This
here.
is probably going to be one of those, because when you see the children, when
Yeah,
you see what they were, what they were in before you got there and made a difference, you
yeah,
can see it in their eyes. They can't hide it. They are ecstatic, and it just brings tears to my eyes. So this is a project that was submitted by a member of Siena from California,
mm,
Mr. Philip Dogbe.
okay,
Dodoma Riasu is a few miles north, I believe, northwest of Ho.
okay,
We went there this year, and to see it. Beautiful, very very high land on the top of the mountain, very
uh,
beautiful area. So anyway, these over 200 kindergarteners are crammed into that, whatever that structure
right,
was.
mm-hmm,
And so yes, when they asked us to process it, to implement and build them a brand new one, I think it was a no-brainer. So
yeah,
it's a we have we it's what the building you see there contains two large classrooms.
Right
And
here.
then there's a third building inside that is supposed to be their lounge areas, so
Uh,
that when they are not in class, they can rest
right.
around in that particular room. And then we also build them about 4 toilets for the children, and then one for the teachers.
Mm.
It's beautifully done. The most beautiful tiles. I love
Mm-hmm.
tiles, so when we can
I hear
put up
you
a
be say tiles.
building
Okay.
and put tiles in with the color to make these kids feel just grateful for what a real building ought to look like for our own children and our folks. It makes me very happy. So as you said, it is going to be inaugurated sometime in March, April.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The president probably would like to invite as many people to the inauguration as possible.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we're hoping we would complete the other project that's going to be in Parliament, the
So you
Computer
can do
Learning
it.
Center.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then these two projects might be inaugurated at the same
At the
time.
same time.
So,
Okay.
Ceana, we are touching hearts. We are
Mm-hmm.
making a difference in the lives of our brothers and sisters. You know the saying, but for the grace of God,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it will be me, right? It will be you. It would have been you or it would
Right.
have been me.
Mm-hmm.
So every one of those projects is just such a blessing to our communities, and we're making
Yeah.
a difference in our land. So
Yeah.
everyone who has
One
given
project at a time.
$30, it's you're making a difference. Be proud
Yeah.
of yourself.
All right. So thank you very much for KOSSI, and I hope I really do hope that we can get the one. Now I do want to talk about the one to close this up. I want the to talk about the one in Parliament. So we don't have pictures because I don't know what stage that is. That's the last project from the eight that was selected back then. So can you tell us a little bit about what are we doing there, and when do you think that we're going to complete that one?
Okay, so we are just about to start it. We have done
Okay.
all the feasibility studies. This is a unique one because it's a computer learning center. It's not uh, bricks and mortar building,
Okay.
yeah, and then we just go. So they already have their building.
Okay.
There has to be a renovation, some changes made to it. The
Okay.
walls have to be chiseled, and cables and electrical cables and computer tables put in.
Okay.
Um, we have to we have to use two buildings, two classrooms, combine
Okay.
two classrooms.
Okay.
We have to provide them with a toilet, with a couple of toilets, and
Okay.
then a teacher's lounge,
Okay.
and then all of this while making sure that it is ADA, disability accessed.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So a few years back, we have been very conscious about every project we undertake
Okay.
being
That's good.
accessible to even all disabled people.
Okay.
So we are going to take care of that. We are going to have about 30 desktops within the
Okay.
classroom.
Okay.
The community of it's in the high school. It's going to be located in a high school called Koji High School. It
Okay.
is the largest high school I have ever seen, Nicole. It's and they have actually built a wall around it, and it's 20 hectares, which is about 60 acres of land.
Beijing High School.
It's
I
mind
wish I visited that when I
Koji.
was at Parliament last time. I wish I had visited that. Next time I have to go and visit that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Koji High School. Apparently, a lot of prominent folks within Togo went to
Yeah.
that school, but it's a junior high school and a senior high school combined. And so we're just taking two of their classrooms, which is in a story building on the bottom
Mm-hmm.
floor, and we are retrofitting it to fit, to fit this. The community, which is Global Part, who submitted
Mm-hmm.
this project, and the community, for their community contribution, they are going to be providing all the desks and table and the chairs and
That's good.
desks.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
that's going to have all the desktop computers.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a novel one. The first time we're doing that. Fortunately, that out of the 12 projects that we selected, about 3 of them are going to be the same as this Palime one. So
I
everything
was
we
gonna ask
learned
that,
from,
so that's good. Okay.
yes, everything we learned from this project in Palime, we will be
You're
using
gonna
for
use
the
it.
next couple of, yeah. As a matter of fact, the top project on the 12 that we picked that is going to be in Angloga. It's also a computer learning center.
That's good. That's good.
So
That's
yes, so that's going to be very. We're going to learn a lot of lessons. I'm glad I'm
yeah.
on the ground,
Right. Right.
and we would apply it and be able to speed up the implementation as fast as we can.
That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. These are just so awesome to hear. Just to doing the computer labs is very, very important. And I know we had this conversation with the lady who came to Ceana. Remember the
The
lady who
mayor,
the
the
mayor.
mayor of
Uh,
Helper, yes,
Ahepe. Yeah, and that was her question when I interviewed her. That was her question: are you going to do it someplace else, not just Palime, but they need it in their town as well, because it is far. You know, not everybody can go all the way to Palime to for a computer lab. So the fact that we are starting to do it more, I think that is a good thing, because we do need that as well. And we also need just a regular library. Are we ever thought about just regular library in those schools? As we are building these buildings, we should also be thinking about library as well, because you need the books, the knowledge, the books, and the computer labs. I think that is going to really enable these students, and to know how our students, if we could see the way. I remember when I was back home, I don't know about you, but we used to walk miles and miles and miles and miles to go to school, and that was normal, right? You would never complain, because that was normal.
that
That
was.
was normal. That
Mhm.
was normal. But then you realize now that this is not really, it shouldn't be, but it is. And to go to a different town to go to school, there are people who go to a different
Mhm.
town to go to school because there's no school in their
I
homes.
did.
And see,
Mhm.
and this bridge that I was talking about, when we interviewed those boys that we showed, when we interviewed them, this young and beautiful, handsome boy, I know you remember him, in the videos, and he was like, we have to
Yes.
have education to live. We have to have
Yep.
education to a better life. And if you don't have a better life, you don't have education, you can't have a better life. The way he was saying it was just so, it just warms your heart. We drive,
It
we
does.
back home, and that's the crazy thing, is people in the villages who do not have school, they are the ones who really, really want the education, and they don't have it.
Mhm.
So whenever we are doing these things, I just think that it's amazing for us to do this. We can't do it everywhere, not every village, but one at a time. So if we can get anybody to help, any penny, it goes a long way. So we're just encouraging everybody, and I'm so grateful and so glad that you are able to share this with us. And hopefully we can come back and talk about the other 12, the other 12 that
Yep.
you guys have selected. We can talk about that. But now that we got business out of the way, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. So, your name, right? So, your name. I love our traditional names. Your name, if
Mhm.
we say KOSSI, what does that mean? I know, but what does it mean for people who don't know?
Simply put, I was a male child born on Sunday from AOA land. That's
I
it.
love,
So
I love these names.
there
I
are
love these names.
I know there are 50 million Kossis running around.
You are one. You are
I'm
one of
one
them.
of the special
You are one
ones.
of the
Yes,
special ones. It's because when you say Kosi, you
exactly.
don't even have to ask, oh, what day were you born? Kosi, you already know that.
No,
I was born on I was born on Sunday. And
Sunday.
we'll have like
Yes.
women will be Kosiwa, I just love our names. And then, I like to, do that. And then your last name too. I want you to explain NUTEKPOR. I know I want to say the way I understand it, but Nute, it just says it all. But what
Yes.
does your last name means?
NUTEKPOR, very quick. My grandmother gave
Hmm.
that name to my father. My
Okay.
grandmother had 11 children. My
Mm-hmm.
father was child number 11.
Mm.
Um, do you know my grandmother lost the first 10? The first 10 children all passed away. My father was the only one who lived. When he came he came around, my grandmother named him Nutekpo.
NUTEKPOR. Et
Uh,
NUTEKPOR. Et
yes,
NUTEKPOR. Et NUTEKPOR souvent.
Nutekpo.
Et
Things
NUTEKPOR.
have happened.
That have
The
happened.
unimaginable has happened. Yes,
Yeah, it's like
and so
temptation.
you know,
You have some major things that you are tried, like you
yes,
are tryout. You went through tryout. That's what that that's what new
yes.
take for and new take
That's
for.
exactly yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And my grandmother told him he would have many children, and of course he ended up with 19 of us.
Ooh.
Yes,
Wow. Okay. He sure did. He sure did.
yes,
Okay.
he
19.
did. He made
Wow.
up. He made up
He
for.
made it up. He
Yes.
made up for the loss.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
He made up and some more. Okay. All right. So
And some
that's
more.
good. And some more. So if we could see,
Yes.
this was fun. Thank you for having you on. And I also want to say, just personally, if we could see is very somebody I very much respect. He has always I met him the first time I met him, he has been a supporter. He supports me, and you're just an awesome man. I know I never told you that off camera, but I get a chance to tell you today.
You're,
For whoever is listening,
you're going to
that
make
you
me
are just
blush.
yeah, blush all the way. So Ifokosi has been very, very helpful and very supportive of me, of my channel, of my, I just thank you for the feedback I get from you. I thank you for always being there. Thank you for always looking out, for us. So I appreciate you. I have always appreciate you. So I thank you for being patient and coming on and doing this and coming back. And I appreciate the passion that you have for what you do. I appreciate that very much, and I thank you for the changes that you are making, because I have a feeling that if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have much done in Togo. So I just want to say thank you. But I want to also encourage everyone, Togolese. I just want to encourage people to just join, just be open, because if you want something to happen, you have to be involved. You have to be involved. So I'm encouraging my
Mhm.
Togolese people to please try to be more involved. Join the associations, and when you join, be active, do things and be involved. And now my Benin family, you have to join and be involved so that we can start doing things on
Yes.
our side. But if we can see, I take my invisible hat out to you for what you do, and you also encourage me to retire and be able to retire the way you're retired, because you're happy the way you are happy. It's encouraging me, makes me want to retire too and go back to Ghana and just
Mhm.
be chilling like you're chilling, because right now you have no stress unless Ceana stuff started and then you have to do that. But I can see how you're enjoying your retirement. So it's
Mhm.
definitely encouraging me to also work hard and be where you are. So I want to be like you when I grow up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Ah,
And I want to
thank you
say
so much.
thank you for being who you are. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I don't see that a lot. So when I see you, people like you are supporting and just being there and just being a resource and just working generally just to help others and just help those who are in need, I really very much appreciate that. So I thank you very much for that. And I also going to ask you, do you have any last words? Um, to the viewers and anybody else out there, and your hardworking team, intelligence, hardworking team. What is your last message to everybody?
Uh, just to just to say that it takes a team to do what we have been doing. The projects committees, it's not just one project committee, there are several people come and go. Some of us have been there permanent, for since the beginning. So I want to thank every one of those folks within the new projects committee, the implementation committee, the presidents that we have had, the incredible two presidents we have had since we went to the 3-year term, Dr. Bochi and uh, Dr. Chachu Nyamadi. They have done excellently. They are the real heroes. And then, of course, the people who donate. You have
Mhm.
already said a whole bunch already. Um, we want to encourage as many Togolese to join. They are there. We know in the Washington metro area alone, there are several Togolese associations on their own. Some of them have joined the Washington, the Airway Association, but more could join.
Mhm.
I could say the same thing of Beninois, same thing. So Ceana, it's probably could triple or quadruple if all the folks who came from Ewe land actually joined an organization. We could really change our communities within Ewe land. So it is very encouraging to see folks like you, Nicole. Let me pay that tribute back to you. So focused on Ewe land. This Africulture is an Ewe land, basically promoting venture for you, and you do great. Um, One of my nephews is from Dapango, and I told him about you, and she told me something in your
In
language to
Moba,
tell you,
Moba,
but
I have
of
Moba.
course,
What did he
Moba,
say?
exactly.
You're gonna
Uh,
have to remember though.
I got, God knows, I could never, for the life of me, I will not remember exactly. I'll have
Maybe
him
he may
write it and I'll type it.
he will write it and you can text it to me. Yes, yes.
I can text it to you. Yes, his name is Kofi Dimi NUTEKPOR.
Kofi.
By the way, he part of those projects we did in Togo. He
Uh,
actually was one of those on the ground helping us.
that's nice.
So anyway, he's one of my oldest nephews. He's from
Okay.
Dapango.
That's
So
good.
anyway, Nicole, thank you for everything you do. I thank your viewers, and I tell you, we need to sell you better than we are doing. So I hope
Amen.
there were a lot of people here.
Mouth to God here.
Yes, and yes, I don't know. I don't think you are on one voter group yet. So we are going to find a way to put you on there so that every program you do, I
Uh-huh.
share the link today on the one voter group, and
Okay.
I hope a lot of people from there watch. There are over 200 people on that platform. I would
Oh, so
like
if
to.
they
I
don't,
see
I'm
one
sure they're
of the.
gonna watch it later.
I can see one of the viewers making
And
a
for
comment,
Malco,
Mr. Mauko
Malco.
Jikunu. For Mauko,
And for
he's the
Malco,
chairman of the One Voter Group in Ghana.
yes,
He's
yes.
our chairman in Ghana. So
Mhm.
yes, he's also on
Yes,
the One Voter platform. So I
that's
hope
good.
everybody else was able to see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
Justin,
thank you,
hello.
Nicole.
Justin is
Thank
always
you for
there. No problem. No problem. Go ahead,
yes.
finish.
Thank you
For
for
Kosi, sorry.
inviting me.
Thank
I
you.
was just gonna say thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for coming back. And thank you for Malco. Thank you very much. You've been here a few times, so I appreciate you very much. I know it's late in Ghana right now. I thank you for taking the time watching us and actually taking the time and letting us know that you are watching. So thank you. And everybody else who's going to watch later, we thank you very much. We appreciate you, your contribution, everything. And focus, see, I hope that your people in your community, the 8 members, I hope they watch this later or they're watching right now. I hope they are watching this. And then they can give us ideas and whatever they feel we can have feedback because again we are learning and this is just for all of us. So I hope they will watch later. Guys, I thank you very much for joining. We thank you for KOSSI. If KOSSI, you have to thank your nephew for me. So just tell him thank you. Say thank you to your
I will
nephew.
do that.
Next time I come to
I will
Ghana,
do that.
I'm definitely going to come meet him. Meet him. So thank you.
Yes,
Tell him thank you and his family. I appreciate that very much.
I
So
will do that.
guys, I'm gonna say thank you guys for again for watching, for hanging in there. I want you guys to share because this information is very, very important. It's special information. So we need to share it with the people who are back home, the people who are involved, the people, the community. We want to share it to people who are donating, people who are just learning about Ewe land. We want to share this information. It is important to share. So I want you guys to share with everyone. Bring people in. This is Africulture. We are here every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time and 8 p.m. GMT. If you're in Ghana, you're in Togo, you're in Benin, it is 8 p.m. your time. But we are here to share our culture, bring a light into our culture and discuss the things that are, important. A lot of people don't talk about the things that I talk about. A lot of people don't. And I think that the things that we really don't talk about, the sensible places, the sensible information is really, really important for us to discuss and just be open and just be transparent because it is what it is. And we have to share these and we have to help one another. So I thank you very much for doing the same thing. Miato mdakbenami. Bemile kame kudomi. Il faut qu'on s'y ndakbena, il faut qu'on s'y kaka parce que il faut qu'on s'y amène venir. So kaka premier jour que m'dogo ya. Et est vraiment mais gentil. Il faut qu'on fique bena don signer. Et là non en commentaire et supporter nam vidéo pota que moi faut qu'on s'y connaît. Donc amène venir supporter nam second donc ben ndakbena il faut qu'on s'y be eva et moaji. Mbe ma encourager mia kpota kenye togoto mia no Ceana me ne mia participate game a trois projet trois ko le Ghana ne mia chami sugbon le mea ola o trois le Ghana ola o trois le Togo au lieu ko la o trois le Ghana ola o un le Togo parce que mi sugbon donc il est important be mia kpota mia no association amere ne mia participer na nu ko kpota ona game la kpido mia kpota nti mingba no côté de kakwa mi ba me buo no ve we mi akpata mi anu me ne mi awe dodu parce que america le wonu marché no wa mi akpata mi site mi we a e la yi nko kaba kaba donc anya kembe maglo mi no na kame chaque dimanche 16h les Atlanta avec 16h ou soit 20h le Togo Lomé Koubene 20h à Milan ofie donc à chaque dimanche à mi ava moachi ne mi akpata mi awonu ensemble ne mi ava ne mi va mi ana mi anya amekoe les caméras ne mi les caméras mi en commentaire si be foko e fo mauko ou commentaire et les caméras donc aminya meke benya a game amila mila yo mi adak penami sinon merci beaucoup mi bena enia eni a emi le wo agriculture emi le wo donc ne mi la joie souvent jouer na vidéo de na mi si amene mi akpo kombe culture be nou ya so ma jouer na mi voa mi adogo dimanche prochain lo akpena mi kaka. Guys, I want to share, as we always do, I do want to have some videos I want to share with you, some dances, since this is free culture, this is culture. I normally have a video. I'm going to get a short one for you and play. This is, one of the we have festivals in Togo all the time. This is one of the festivals that I'm going to play for you guys. And as you watch this to end the show, I just want to say thank you for joining. I'll see you guys next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. GMT. But I do want you to share this video, share the links with everyone you know. Stay safe and blessed, and I'll see you on the next one.